Hello, how are you today? I hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to talk about how to trust your hunger and make peace with food. And maybe you're someone who wants to know why you can't seem to make peace with food without feeling out of control. So I'm Kelsie, Michaud, health and life coach. And if you happen to have any questions, as we go along, please feel free to pop it in the comments. And if you come on, say hello. I'd love to say hi to you. So let's jump in today. So, I've had people tell me, as far as intuitive eating goes, that when they've tried it in the past, they feel like it didn't quite work for them. And they'll say something like, I tried intuitive eating, but it just made me feel kind of more out of control around food. Like I can't just eat whatever I want because I'll eat the cookies and the cakes and the chocolate and I'll eat it all day. I'll eat it all day long. So the thing is, you know yourself, and you feel like you probably need some structure or some rules because we've been used to that so much from diet, right? From diet industry and the diet mentality that's stuck in our heads now. And all of that just, it reverts us back to dieting, back to the rules and the restrictions, and we continue to do the diet, and then we eat and we repent, and then we repeat the cycle. It goes on and on. It's just that vicious cycle. So one of the biggest misconceptions about intuitive eating is you can eat whatever you want, whenever you want. And this can kind of lead you towards feeling out of control with the food that just creates this frustration that you end up feeling, which makes you also feel like it's not working for you. So if you've actually ever tried intuitive eating before and it made you feel like you were a little out of control or feeling like you're out of control around your foods, I have a few things that I want to share with you today so that you can actually know how to make peace with food. Okay, and you can start this today. It's so wonderful because it's so easy to do. So first of all, got to get rid of that diet mentality. We need to leave that diet mentality behind us, and we need to leave it behind us for good, okay? Because if you are secretly hoping to use intuitive eating as like a weight loss tool, it's going to become just another diet, okay? Because there's other factors that will override. There's other factors involved here, and they're going to override you trying to hear your internal cues, which is the main goal, right, of intuitive eating, so that we can hear what's going on and listen to our body and what it actually wants and needs. And it's going to override all of those internal cues, such as our weight and our guilt and our food rules and our pant size. And that's going to bring you right back to those diet behaviors again, okay? And what are those? Those are things like restriction and binging, and trying to just compensate for all of the restriction and the binging. So you absolutely need to just let go of this diet mentality for intuitive eating to be able to work for you, okay? And diets, we know diets have been shown over and over again, and this is through studies. Diets have been shown over and over again to fail 95% of the time. And they're a predictor to, future weight gain. There's about 66% of people who end up weighing more than what they did than before they actually started their diet to begin with. So that also leads you to have a negative body image. And then it's only going to increase your risk of having an eating disorder. So the first thing to start working on is your mindset. And you need to learn to just silence that food police. There's those voices going on in your head. They're like a ping pong ball to me. Like they go back and forth, and we need to silence them, right? They're in there. We need to shut them down, shut down those thoughts. And because those thoughts are making you believe that, I'm being good for eating a salad, right? Or I'm being bad for eating a cookie. You want to get rid of those particular rules. And instead, with intuitive eating, it gives you this curiosity to really understand and go through the actual process, and it will work for you if you give yourself the time to actually build the trust in your body and your food choices. It takes time, and we have to be patient with ourselves because we all want that quick fix, right? and we think the diet gives us that quick fix. But then what happens when we get the quick fix? It doesn't last because we didn't learn. The habits were not created along the way to make it long-lasting and sustainable for us. And especially when we're restricting all the time or feeling like we're restricted, that's not going to work for us either. And that comes from diets telling us when and how much to eat and even what to eat. Sorry, that's my dog right on cue when I'm doing a live. She wants to come in. So let's say you're going to need to get in touch with all of these internal cues, right? That from intuitive eating. That's what it wants us to do, and your body wants to do that too because that's how we were born. We were born with those innate signals coming at us. So if you're constantly not honoring your hunger, especially in enough time, it's going to be very hard to make that peace with food. So when you're getting overly hungry, your body goes into this primal hunger mode, okay? And I'm sure we all know that as like ravenous or hangry, right? Because primal hunger is when your body, it's gone without food and it's gone without it for too long, and then your senses feel like it's like a threat to your survival, okay? And at that point, your body wants food. Like that's all it can think about. And on top of that, you're less likely to make those good choices. You're more likely to overeat because your body is just thinking about food and it's just like screaming, just feed me, right? So it wants quick energy. And that's where the overeating becomes this biological response to our getting overly hungry, right? So of course, on the other side of that, there's your fullness. You know, we eat and then we get full. So then we want to listen to our fullness cues. But you may be used to eating until you're so stuffed, you're always considering that sensation as being like too full. So tuning into how your body actually feels once you have finished your meal, then that can really help you to figure out how much food that your body really does need. Okay? It's also important to be aware of how the food is actually making your body feel. So you really want to get in touch with your hunger and fullness cues, okay? And be able to honor them, okay? And honor them in time so that you can start to just depend on them and trust your body, trust those signals that are coming into you, so that you can let them know, or they can let you know when you need to eat and when you need to stop, like how much is actually enough, okay? Good morning, Lisa. How are you? Thank you for coming on with us. So imagine you've gotten rid of all these diet rules now, okay? You've pushed them aside, and you can now start to trust your internal cues, and you can start to take those steps towards making peace with food. And this is where you give yourself that full permission to eat and enjoy any and all foods, okay? Because allowing this full permission is absolutely essential. It's an essential part because our brains like something new, okay? Like restricting food, our brain likes freshness. Restricting foods or telling ourselves that we shouldn't be having something, or we shouldn't have this, or we shouldn't have that. It keeps our brain like in this novel state where, like, when we do eat that so-called like off-limit food, it only like heightens that reward experience because it's like, like it almost starts getting tingly. When you know you can enjoy something at any time, though, there's no urgency for it, and there's no urgency for that, like eat it all while you can in that moment. Instead, you start making these food decisions by asking yourself, okay, do I really want this? Start making food decisions by asking yourself, like, how do I feel? How am I going to feel after I eat this? Am I even hungry? Am I really, truly hungry right now? Or once you do eat, like, how full am I? How am I feeling? Will I enjoy it more if I eat it now or if I wait until later? Am I craving it because it just tastes good or because I'm stressed out? There's so many factors and emotions and feelings that come into play when we eat. Eating is an emotional experience. but we want to get in tune with our body so that we're feeding it when and what it actually needs. So this is just, it's getting in tune with our body. That's attunement right there. You can eat whatever you want, but the most important part is that it's the condition that it's under that condition that you have to eat. Like, you need to tune into your body, right? You need to tune into how your body feels and understand where that actual desire is coming from for the food, okay? If you have a desire to eat, but you're not hungry, most likely that desire for food is for an emotional reason rather than a physical one. So eating for emotional reasons is actually not, that's not eating intuitively. It's very much the opposite, and that's where you need to figure out where your true need is, okay? Which likely isn't food at that point if you're not really hungry, okay? So that's where our habits come into play, okay? And with our habits, we need to take it one food at a time. So when you start eating intuitively, okay, and you're not restricting any foods, it can feel a little crazy, a little chaotic, a little out of control, but your goal is to actually remove that power from the foods that it has on you. So you can make your food choices using your internal cues and signals that are coming into you rather than those external ones, okay? Like all those external diet rules, okay? And what you want to actually do is create these new habits for yourself around the foods so that you view these foods as that you're viewing them as like bad or off limits, okay? Or these trigger foods that cause you to overeat. This habituation means that you're removing that like that novelty of the food that has become, like, we want to make it just another food, okay? So that you're making a food choice. And the best way to do this is just choosing one food at a time. And I'm going to explain more about how to actually do that, okay? So first, you choose your food item, okay? Choose that item that you want to make peace with. And you want to be very specific, okay? Whether it's a cookie, whether it's potato chips, whether it's ice cream, whatever it is for you, choose that one food, okay? And make sure that you're not overly hungry when you choose that food, okay? You're able to stay present and stay in the moment. And then I want you to schedule a time that you're actually going to eat it, all right? And make sure that you're feeling safe. Maybe you want to be alone. Maybe you maybe want to be outside of the house. However you're most comfortable to do this little exercise, and make sure, like I said, that you're not overly hungry and you're able to stay present in the moment. And before you actually eat, you want to check in with yourself, okay? And notice, be aware. Being present means noticing the flavors, the textures, the smells, and how it looks, okay? Is it meeting your expectations, all right? And then while you're eating, before you, I was thinking while you're eating, before you actually eat, notice how you're actually feeling about the food, okay? Are you feeling a little excited, or are you nervous? Or are you worried that you're going to overeat this food? And then while you're actually eating it, that's when you want to notice all the, it's eating mindfully. You're noticing how it feels in your mouth, the taste, the textures, the smells, okay? Use all your senses. And when you're done eating it, check in again. How was that overall experience? Was it as good as you thought it was going to be? How does your body feel now? If you can choose to eat anything, would it be that same food again? Okay? And then just keep doing this. Keep doing this exercise with the same food until you reach that point of where that novelty of that food, it's worn off. The excitement's worn off, okay? And you're going to no longer look forward to eating that particular food all of the time, okay? It's going to wear off. It's going to come down off that pedestal. And it's possible you may also notice that you can eat less of it and be satisfied too, okay? And another possibility is, realizing maybe you don't even really like it. Sometimes that happens. And then you want to just repeat that with a new food. Like once you've gotten past that one particular food, that's when you introduce a new food, and then repeat the same process with a new food. So as you can see here, making peace with food, it's more than just eating whatever you want. There's so much thought that actually goes into it that, like I said, it takes time, so it's a process, because you really need to be aware, which really does make all the difference for you, and especially in your types of behaviors around food. And also what's important is to remember that intuitive eating, it's not this straightforward line, okay? It's not super simple, but it is at the same time, if that makes sense. So even when you take it slow and you do everything right, there might be times when you do feel out of control, and that's absolutely okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, all right? It's part of the process. It's important to be patient and kind with yourself. That's really, really super important. Like I said, don't beat yourself up about it. And, maybe ask yourself, okay, what made me feel so vulnerable to overeat at that point? Or, am I putting those diet rules back on myself again? Sometimes, that's possible because we lived with them for so long. Or maybe did I get too hungry? Did I wait too long to eat? Or am I feeling a little emotional? Am I feeling stressed? Okay, it's okay to back it up and just see, okay, what was the reason for that? And then we learn from it and we move on. And we practice again. Okay? So use it as an opportunity to actually learn and discover these new things about you, your eating habits, and then you can better be prepared for the next time that you choose a food again, or the next time that you eat a meal. Because each eating experience can be used to just move you forward toward becoming more of an intuitive eater. Okay? So if you keep at it, you're going to be well on your way to living a life that's just, having all this food freedom. Okay? One where food is just, it's joyful, it's nothing to worry about, and that in itself sounds peaceful. So I hope this was helpful for you. I'd love to know if you try this exercise, and let me know. Pop it in the comments for me. And if you have any questions as well, let me know. Pop it in the comments. And remember to share if you feel like you know somebody who might find this helpful for themselves as well. So if you guys don't have any questions now, I'm going to hop off. But if anything comes up for you, let me know. Feel free to reach out. And I hope you'll have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.